Hello and welcome to another Imperator Rome video, and today with the 100th Imperator Rome Developer Diary we finally get to see what is coming with Vitruvius. Now, as I've said in a couple of Dev Diaries previous, Vitruvius was an architect, both military and civil, who lived around the time of Augustus, the first emperor of Rome, and he wrote about building and architecture, military and civil kind of architectures. And so a big hint about what Vitruvius was going to be about buildings. A lot of people kind of hoped for a building overhaul, myself being one of them. And last week we had a dev diary that I was very unhappy with. I stand by that. I think it was a pretty bad dev diary all told. But it gave some hints towards what was coming. We can actually open it up as well, just so we can see what is in that dev diary. Just to remind ourselves before we go into this one, first off, we have the rock hiding something. We have this screen being hidden. This one also shows that it's not a building overhaul, as you can still see the training camps down here. And then we have this one here. This is the biggest giveaway, because if you want to download this image, it is being named pixelated GWs_02. GWs, great works. We've got this in Crusader Kings 2. We had great works, and so them calling this unprecedented, which is nice, it's going to the second thing. There we go. Them calling it unprecedented is a little bit suspect. A little bit. I mean, you're gonna have to, those big words you're gonna have to live up to. And well, let's go and have a look at the dev diary and see if that is what they've done. So, hello everyone, and welcome to another developer diary for Imperator Rome. It's been a pleasure following the speculations and theories on what the coming update is all about. In the last dev diary we sprinkled out a couple of clues, and you found most of them within 30 minutes or so. The one I think took longest to crack was the pixel soup image, where the clue is hidden away in the name of the image, pixelated GWs_02, is what we've just shown. Even before that did giveaway, it seemed that the strongest theory was it was going to be something about the Great Wonders, and the player would be able to design their own constructions. And this is spot on, of course. What we have in store for you is a free update, Vitruvius, and a paid DLC pack, Great Wonders, that expands on the features in the free update. So, let's go through what we're getting in the free update first. Then we'll have a look at what we're getting in the paid update, the Great Wonders, and then I will give my opinion on both after that. So, the free content. In Imperator Rome, there's a number of magnificent constructions spread out over the world, such as Stonehenge, the Pyramids of Giza, Sigiriya, this one's in Ceylon, and so on. These constructions have so far mainly had a decorative purpose, even though some of them have also given additional bonuses to the nation they're located in. With Vitruvius, we're adding new powers to each of these ancient monuments, turning them into important assets to keep and protect within your nation, or to conquer, claim, destroy for your adversaries. This also includes the constructions that you are able to initiate through decisions, like the Colossus of Rhodes, the Lighthouse and Library of Alexandria, and the Dodona Oracle, making each of them even more powerful additions to your nation. Alright, so in the free update we'll get the monument overview. You'll find a new interface that opens up together with the normal buildings panel and gives an overview of the ancient monuments. Here you can see what modifier the construction is giving you, which could also be seen in the outliner on, or in the city buildings list. At this panel you can also find the destroy button, which can be relevant to use if you want to destroy a conquered monument in a territory you don't intend to keep. That button's never going to get clicked then. Or you want to free up a building slot, since these ancient monuments now occupy a slot just as with normal buildings. If you are ever going to be wanting to delete one of these on the map monuments, like the Temple of Jupiter Optimus Maximus, like the Library of Alexandria, the Lighthouse of Alexandria, the Pyramids of Giza, I guess would be here. If you want to ever delete Stonehenge, if you want to ever delete literally any of these things, for any of the buildings we currently have in the game, then the bonuses that you get for having these is too weak. Straight up, this button should not exist. It is, if it is ever going to be a choice between these and any of these, this is too weak. Just putting that out there. Just straight up. And Conquered Monument Terry, you don't intend to keep. That is a very, very small chance to happen. Unless you're planning on playing a little bit of roleplay like I do, and I like to give some land to client states on my borders and such. I don't think it's really gonna happen ever. It makes no real sense to have it that way. Also, the fact that they're showing really these tiny images, like this is at 100% right here. This is the size of the image that they're sharing. What the fuck is this? What kind of thing are you taking this picture on? Like a bloody CTI bloody monitor? Like, come on. So, don't know what this building does. Doesn't say anything here about it. Bit of a shame. I'll just zoom back out again. We'll leave it at that. Alright, so that's the monument overview. There's got a little bit of an extra bit of UI on top of the regular one. A large image. It's okay. That's cool. That's fine. Events. The Vitruvius update comes with a grand total, a whopping, colossal 8 new events, together with 5 new event images related to the ancient monuments, which makes the lifespan of your constructions an integrated part of your nation's story and history. The new events will make it necessary for you to manage everything from maintenance of aging buildings to celebrations or tourists flocking to your nation. We need to pay maintenance for Stonehenge, which has stood untouched for many thousands of years, but we now own it, so we must have an event where we have to pay for somebody to maintain it. Yeah, cool. Sure. Right, now, Great Wonders. Here we go. This is paid content. You're going to have to pay for this. This will be the DLC that comes alongside all of this. The Great Wonders feature contains a brand new 3D builder tool that enables players to design and build their very own Great Wonder directly in the UI. Once your creation has been constructed, it will be represented on the map using the models and materials you assign to it. The construction and life cycle of your Great Wonders are far from purely ornamental. They will have powerful customizable effects on your nation, and we'll cover these in more detail in the upcoming developer diaries. I will say that this is kind of cool. However, unless these things cost an absolute ton of cash, I think it is going to... One, it's going to get very old. We're going to see the same kinds of structures coming up. This is, you know, it looks like we've got just a base and then a middle piece and then something else that looks like it's on the top, and that's kind of going to be it. So I don't know how you're going to keep these fresh. You can create out of different materials. Great. Unless it's like dozens upon dozens of different types of you know, looks for these, it's gonna get old real quick, and it's gonna be placed pretty much everywhere if they're remotely powerful, and if they're not remotely powerful, they'll not be placed at all. It might take away from the spectacle of, you know, having the Library of Alexandria and the Lighthouse of Alexandria, the Colossus of Rhodes, you know, stationed right next to a copy of the Pharaoh's Lighthouse. I just, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, modular construction with the 3D builder tool. You can see it right here. You'll be able to decide on the visual setup of your construction. This is done by choosing one of 3 categories. Within each category, you'll be able to select pieces for the different segments. This allows you to mix and match pieces to your heart's content and create a look that fits your taste. On top of this, you'll be able to assign one of 9 materials to each of the pieces, further increasing how you can customize the look of your construction. The materials are tied to the trading system, adding a logistical element to the construction of a great wonder. So what we think, 9 different materials. Obviously, we're going to have wood, we're going to have stone, we're going to have marble. That's 3. What are the other 6 materials going to be? Are we going to be able to make one out of solid gold if we have precious metals? Are we... I mean, I can't think of what else we could be looking for. Can we make it out of solid iron? Probably unlikely. Probably unlikely. It's interesting. It's interesting. There's another one here. The column of Lavinium looks like a bit of a furnace, to be honest. So there is some variety in how they look, but at the same time, it's a bit, you know. We are as eager as you are to get this out there and into your hands. Right now, we're putting the finishing touches on Vitruvius, and we'll have more news as it gets closer to release. This means that we'll need to have a festina lente mindset right now, but we're getting there. Until that time has arrived, we'll continue to give you the inner workings of the Great Wonder feature in our upcoming developer diaries, so stay tuned. God damn. I don't even know where to go with this. I really, really don't. So I think, first off, I need to reiterate and kind of really make clear this is not being worked on by the primary Imperator team that is in the, the Stockholm office of Paradox, right? This is not the main team. This is a secondary team that is over in Malmö, Paradox Thalassic, and this is something completely separate to the main game. Obviously, the two teams have worked together so that they're not stepping on each other's toes, and Thalassic isn't making a DLC and an update that is undoing or getting in the way of what the main team is doing. It is a standalone thing. That being said, we were told that Thalassic was working on this for 9 months, and I don't know, this doesn't really seem like 9 months of work, if I'm being perfectly honest. I'm not a developer, right? I do not work in the games industry. I don't know how long things take, but remember a few weeks ago when we had Johan Andersson, the guy who made Imperator, like the old boss before Arheo. He was on the NoCB podcast a few weeks ago, a podcast that I host alongside Leanna Hafer, Enigmatic Rose 4, and Father Loris. The link of that is in the description as well if you want to go check that out. It's pretty fun. He was on our podcast talking about Victoria 2, as it was the 10-year anniversary of that game's release. And he said that game was built from the ground up in a year. Like a full year, and we went from concept to release. And of course on release, it was a bit of a buggy mess. And it wasn't polished, but it was a full game. And there were hundreds and hundreds of events for hundreds of countries. And I'm sorry, I just don't think that 8 new events is anything to really boast about. It's not anything to celebrate or boast about. You had 9 months and you've done less than an event per month. There's this, right? I will get onto this as well, because while I honestly don't really care for this at all, I don't think this is what the game needs right now at all. This does put me in a mindset of, okay, what could this system be used for? And there is something I think that could be incredible that this could be used for. But for making monuments, I just don't care. I don't want to build my custom monuments. I really fucking love building the Pharaoh's Lighthouse, and I think, having these pop up all over the place, having one of these in Brittany and Gaul and Germany and and Illyria, and there's one in Spain, and then there's another one in Spain, and there's a fucking fifth one in Spain, and having these pop up all over the place that can literally look exactly like the Pharaoh's Lighthouse, because, you know, we can see that Pharaoh's Lighthouse is one of the things that you can choose. Does that take away from the magic of having the Pharaoh's Lighthouse? Yes. Yeah, no, I'm not even going to argue about that. Yes, it does. I don't think monuments is something that the game remotely needed right now. I think that if you have a secondary team that's like, okay, we can work on a DLC, we can work on an update alongside your own update, and we can put this out there. We've got this amount of time. We've got a new team full of, you know, ambitious new people to the games industry. What do we want to do? This doesn't breach the top 50. It really doesn't. It really, really doesn't. This does, but not for buildings. No, not for buildings, not at all. And I guess I'll move on to this now, because I guess I've teased enough about this now. Imagine if this modular construction was not a modular construction of buildings, but a modular construction of units. Imagine if you had a base dude, right? You depending on your culture, you would have a base model, right? You'd have a Roman wearing some linen tunics and whatever, the Greeks wearing the togas and whatever. You know, you'd have your base dude, right? Just in the middle, not wearing any armor. And you can say, to put this man out onto the field, wearing basically nothing, no armor whatsoever, wielding nothing, would cost a very paltry amount of ducats. All right, but you don't want to do that because they're trash. They're throwaway trash troops, and why would you throw away trash troops? No, but instead you've got your little thing here saying armor, and then you've got a few options and say, oh, I want to put light armor on him. I want to put some, you know, Lorica segmentata if you're Roman. If, you know, you could have, you know, different armor types tied to your technology. I've researched. If I'm Gallic, I've now researched chainmail. The Gauls invented chainmail. You know, click down. There we go. We've now got chainmail, and my warrior over here on the left is now the model wearing chainmail. Fantastic. What about weapon? I can choose. Okay, I want a unit that is wielding falxes, or it's wielding spathas, or it's wielding gladiuses, or it's wielding sarissa pikes, or any kind of thing like that. Maybe if you are Roman, you have a secondary option where you can take the gladius and a couple of pila. You've got a shield option. What kind of shield? How big your shield wants to be, right? Changing these values would increase the quality of your unit. It would increase the cost of your unit, and you know, you'd have to decide, okay, how much balance do I want to put into building my own custom units? Give them a fucking name of your own. You could have you know, your historical types of troops already pre-programmed in, so you can have your Principe, your Hastati. They would already be in, looking like they do. Boom, done. As it would be a model with various different pieces of armor. If you've got one of these dudes on the map, he would look like he does on the map. You can have this guy wandering around looking like you have just fucking built him. That would be cool. That could use this exact system of, you know, modular building. And it's not for this thing, it's for your units, which you give a shit about. I'm sorry, I think that's a much better idea for this than this is. I don't really know if anyone's going to agree with me, or whether, you know, it's a stupid idea, Lambert, and what are you even talking about? But, you know, this just does nothing for me. It really does nothing for me. And there's questions as well about, like, how viable it's going to be, right? Say you are playing as Rome, you've built up your city, you've maxed out your amount of buildings, you're 10 out of 10, including the Temple of Jupiter Optimus Maximus. Right? Maybe you can not build anything extra there. So we'll say irrelevant, whatever. You've got your Temple of Jupiter Optimus Maximus in Rome. Carthage comes over with a stack of elephants, and razes Rome to the ground and destroys the temple because it's right here in the first slot. Your pops drop below a arbitrary 10 pop threshold and the first building in the queue gets destroyed. That's your fucking temple. Sorry, it's fucked. I mean, you'd absolutely have to make these indestructible, other than clicking the stupid destroy button that should not be there. Oh, I feel like this is just such a misstep. It's such a misstep. Like, the amount of hype, the amount of, you know, excitement that was kind of like they were trying to drive up. It's like, ever since their you know, hi, we're Paradox Thoracic, our announcement that we exist. Cool, we're excited. They've got another team working on something to do with Imperator. That's fantastic. Might get something, you know, fresh from it. Then the next week, oh, we don't have anything for you, but here's a bunch of teasers, right? For me, that killed a lot of hype, right? I didn't like that, but a lot of people, I'm not in the majority there, it seems. A lot of people got really hyped by these fucking screenshot things, right? A lot of people got hyped by this. I didn't. I thought it was kind of terrible, but I mean, look at this. Yeah, people were hyped by it, right? And then this, it's like you're hyping it up and hyping it up and hyping it up, and then this? No. I don't think I've been as... I said with this dev diary, it's the worst dev diary that we've had since pre-release. Yeah, it's the worst dev diary we've had since pre-release, because it's the first one that I've been like, I don't like it, right? Of all the dev diaries, I mean, I started doing Imperator dev diaries because I didn't like what I saw in the pre-release dev diaries. The first one I did was about units, and hey, my idea that I had in that dev diary was remarkably similar to this one, I'll put it that way. But yeah, I said last week that that was the worst dev diary we've had since pre-release. And now this one is. This is now the most disappointing dev diary that we've had. And, like, this is something that would definitely increase the amount of flavor in the game, and flavor is definitely what Imperator needs, but at the same time, the war update that is absolutely necessary has been pushed back, and this is not enough in its place. It doesn't do anything for me, and that's really sad. I want to be hyped for the future of Imperator. I want it to get better. I like playing the game still. And I want it to get better. I want people to, you know, enjoy the game. I want it to be, you know, up there with EU4 and CK as, you know, a staple Paradox game that, you know, isn't fucking laughed at. Isn't the butt of the jokes and all that shit. I want it to be good, and this makes me very much doubt that it's going in a direction that's gonna, you know, bring it out of the meme status that it currently is. But, you know, whatever. Before I leave, shout out to Empressism. How you doing, buddy? But that's it. That's really all I got to say. There's a lot of people that didn't like this. There's some very scathing comments in here. There's some people that think it's cool as well, though, for sure, but there's some, you know, extremely not my thing. I was hoping for something more impactful. It's not my thing. I think the next page has some pretty scathing ones. But, like, I don't know. It's just... I don't know. It's just really, really disappointing. Overhyped. Absolutely overhyped. Couldn't agree more. I don't understand the priorities. I couldn't agree more. But yeah, I mean, it's not a overwhelming opinion. There's a lot of people that like it, like here. but it's not for me. It's not. Yeah, unprecedented change you spent 9 months on. CK2 great works with a 3D edition. I mean, that's basically it, isn't it? It is basically that. It is overhyped. I don't know. I'm really quite disappointed. I'm really disappointed. But anyway, are you like me? Are you disappointed in the change, or are you like some of the people here who are excited about the change? Like, I understand getting excited about it, right? Having you know, the models on the map is really nice. I like, you know, going to collect the monuments on the map. My Egyptian 7 Wonders of the World campaign was a lot of fun because, you know, I went over and I collected all of the wonders of the world. It was fun. It's cool seeing them on the map. But it those wonders on the map lose so much of their special majesty and wonder when you can just build fucking one of your own next door. I mean, that's just, yeah. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, though, please. Am I going mental? Is this actually really good? What do you think of my my ideas here for modular units? I mean, you could have mount, elephant, horse. How cool would that be? A man is just a fucking man. There's very little difference between fighting men, right? It's just a man. It's all down to training. Yeah. If a Roman soldier was brought up, you know, with the fucking horse being the most important thing to his culture, he'd learn to ride a horse just as good as somebody who was born in the steppe. Just putting it that way. Man's just a fucking man. So just all depends on the training and the equipment you give him as to how he is. You know, just have this inherent discipline bonus because you have to be born in a place that has, you know, fucking more technology. Whatever. I'm getting off track again. Just let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I'm just gonna go and continue being disappointed about this Dev Diary. And hopeful for the war update of Imperator. This one just seems like a bit of a misstep. Anyway, I have a Patreon page, link in the description if you would like to support the channel. That'd be cool. Likes and comments, please. Yeah. Shout out to Embercism. Bye bye.